What's up, guys? We're back here with Archeworld, and we got a major update from XL Games. Let's jump into it. Pre-announcement on October update. Events. So, the new wave update. This is what we've been waiting for. A massive info drop from XL Games. Figuring out what's going to happen. So, let's hear what they're saying. The Archeworld team has been listening carefully to all the valuable opinions shared by users. We did our best to conduct active reviews and discussions with the intention of doing everything possible to move in a better direction. Ultimately, the direction to be aimed at this point is strengthening land operation merit, which means making houses more valuable, making it so people want to have houses again, because currently not many people want to have houses. There's a lot of land available. There is NFT prices in the garbage. Like, this is the absolute all-time low NFT prices, and people are just trying to sell and abandon ship. Then they say through increasing the value of blue archeum. So they're going to increase the value of blue archeum is their intent, which will make houses more profitable. So in addition, we conclude that a virtuous cycle can be achieved only when motivated to grow equipment is combined with the fun of playing contents. In addition, we would like to build a system where users leasing system land can make more profits than rental costs, as well as enjoying the contents by growing up step by step. With the goals above, we would like to inform you of the scheduled plans to apply first in the update on October. So once again, it just talked about making land valuable. Land is supposed to be the key resource in Archeworld. That's what differentiates from ArcAge mainly, is that land is where you get your labor, land is where you get your archeum, land is where you progress your character for the most part. Alright, so first up, increased the purchase price of instant dungeon entry tickets and the number of incomplete archeum shards paid as compensation is significantly increased. Alright, so this is a Korean translation, so it's not going to be the greatest English. But what this means, and we got clarification on this in the Discord, is that the cost to enter the dungeon is going to increase. So currently it costs 1,000 red archeum, or 2,000 red archeum, or 3,000 red archeum, etc., and it grows, and you can enter 3 times. They're increasing that, so it's going to cost more red archeum to enter the dungeon. But for increasing the dungeon cost, they say they are significantly increasing the rewards that you get via incomplete archeum shards. So, from what we understand, the incomplete archeum shards drop off of the boss. So if you are not completing the dungeon as of now, this is not going to be good for you. If you are completing the dungeon, this will be great. You should be getting a better reward, right? So if you're spending, say, 3,000 archeum to enter the dungeon, hopefully you get back 3,000 or 4,000 incomplete archeum shards, along with some of the Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Point items, right? We don't know the values, but it says significantly increase the archeum shards. Currently, the archeum shards are right around 300 or so, maybe a little bit more, give or take, depending on your luck and how fast you kill the boss. Because that's something that hasn't been utilized in Archeworld, really, is that the dungeons have this mechanic in them that the faster that you kill the final boss in the dungeon, the more better loot that you get. But most people don't play the dungeons. They simply auto-play them, instantly farm them, and get the rewards that way. They just simply don't play the dungeons. So this update here, in my view, is trying to make the dungeons more profitable for actual 5-man parties that are playing the dungeon and smashing the bosses, in record time, trying to beat it as fast as possible to get the best rewards. So let's see how this plays out. This should be a good change, right? Then, added a new craft to immediately create a complete regrade stone by consuming regrade stone shards and blue archeum. So this is the first instance where we're going to have a new recipe that is going to use blue archeum. It's also going to be able to craft those regrade stones, the sun points, the moon points, the star points, without having to put it on your land and harvest it after, 8 hours, I think it is for that one. So we don't know the cost on this, but that's an interesting thing. So there's going to be a different way to craft this thing and make it into an actual usable sun point. And then also the combat level increase effect which was only given to plus 10 enhancements, is now distributed at a certain rate to the plus 9 enhancement effects applied on 928. So they're changing it where you're going to get some combat level at plus 9. It doesn't fully say if you're going to get only like half of it or some of it or all of it, but it sounds like that now instead of getting 3 combat level at plus 10, you might get 1 combat level at plus 9 and maybe 2 combat level at plus 10. Something like that possibly. Or it could also mean that you just get 3 combat level at plus 9 now, and then at plus 10 maybe you get 5 combat level. We don't know. We'll have to see what happens at combat level 10 and what the actual rates are, and that is for the primary weapon, because the armors and the accessories, they give you less combat level than that. But the primary weapon currently gives plus 3 combat level at 10, and no one in the game, even the top whale, does not have a plus 10. So this is a very interesting change. We'll have to see what actually happens if more people now go to plus 9 because they get some combat level for increasing it all the way to plus 9. And if they do, this is going to take thousands upon thousands of sun point, moon point, star points to get there, because it is not easy. It is a very low chance to get to plus 9. I do not know the actual percentages on that. I believe it's probably in the low single digits, like 5 or 4%. That is my guess from what I've discovered from prior ones, where like plus 6 is really low, plus 7 is really low. Again, I don't have the exact data on that, but like the odds just keep getting lower and lower and lower. So that's what's happening with the dungeons here. And now, improvements in Mist Marrow. To relieve fatigue and increase the sense of accomplishment, during the Dungeon Conquest Wars, the reaction waiting time is increased from 3 days to N days. So, weird translation here, we don't know, but they're saying is that you cannot do the Dungeon Conquest War, Mist Marrow, which a lot of people haven't even done, in maybe like 7 days now. So we don't know. We're going to try and ask for more clarification on this, but before it was a dungeon war could happen if all of those Hage's Towers got built up. If one of the Hage's Towers got built up to level 3 or level 4, then it would trigger Mist Marrow, and after that there was a 3-day cooldown, meaning that you could not trigger the Mist Marrow War for 3 days. But now they're increasing it. They're increasing it to N. We don't know what N is. I'm going to guess that it's 7 days, right? That means it's probably 7 days where you cannot do another Mist Marrow War. This is going to be important, though, because as dungeons are being run more and more and more, the whole purpose of Mist Marrow is the winner of Mist Marrow owns the dungeons. So they get some Archeum rewards for their guild. So this is an important change right here. Mist Marrow change is very, very important, actually. And if you don't know about this stuff, you definitely need to ask your guild, ask your members about it. Like, hey, what's Mist Marrow? You know, what are these Hage's Towers? What are like, do we do this at all? Like, have we built this up? Have we conquested anything? Do we own a dungeon? Like, you got to ask your guild these things, because there's a lot of valuable loot that could be earned for the guild right there. And the guild leaders have access to this fund, this Archeum fund, and they can distribute it to your guild members. So, very, very important right there. Next up. Well, I mean, this one also too. So the Mist Marrow changes, it's not happening on the 28th, because you see the words above, these were applied on 9/28. The Mist Marrow change here does not actually say 9/28. So this change is going to happen sometime in October, whether it's the next week or the following week or the following week, right? The Mist Marrow change will not happen on 9/28. That is a very important point. They're also going to have monsters will appear during the Mist Marrow, and a dedicated quest will be added where you can obtain individual rewards by hunting. So on top of the change to Mist Marrow, they are also making it more lucrative for players, solo players even, to jump in there. There's going to be a quest, there's going to be rewards. We'll find out more information when this actually goes live, but again, this one is not happening on 9/28. Next up, improvements in sea content. They are going to add fishing backpack, contents that individuals can perform. And then, so again, that does not have added on 9/28. Fishing will be coming soon, but it's not happening on 9/28. But they have announced it. It's fishing, manual fishing, in the world. You're going to get a fish. You're going to get it on a backpack. You're going to go and have to turn that fish in. So that is coming to Archeworld sometime in October. But what they are doing on 9/28 is Ezzy's Light Craft. This recipe will be changed, and the ship repair cost will also be greatly reduced. So Ezzy's Light, the item that can summon your boats anywhere, will be greatly reduced, and also the ship repair cost, so the blue salt sand, will be greatly reduced as well. That's going to happen on 9/28. So they're making it cheaper to repair your boats, and they're making it cheaper so you can summon your boats anywhere. All right, 3v3 Arena is coming. This, again, is also not coming on 9/28, but it's going to come sometime during October. The basic rules are similar to 1v1, and 3v3 battles are held by organizing teams through random matchmaking based on individuals' application. So you cannot queue as a party. You queue as an individual person, just like in 1v1 Arena, and then the game will put you in a 3-man team, and it's your 3-man team versus another random 3-man team. BSLT rewards rankings is scheduled to be introduced in the future, but only incomplete Archeum shards will be given as rewards during the beta test period, which is great. Right now, we need more incomplete Archeum shards. The more Archeum shards that come out into the game, into the world, will make Archeum shard price cheaper, and will also then give houses, in my opinion, more profitability, because most likely the red Archeum price will not drop as much as the shards will. We've seen it before. Originally, shards were like 1 BSLT for a stack or 5 BSLT for a stack, and red Archeum at that point was like 100 BSLT for 10,000. So red Archeum isn't solely connected to the shard price. The shard price can go down, and red Archeum price can go up. But right now, we just have way too little shards in the game, and that's why the shard price, in my opinion, is so high at 19 or 20 BSLT for a stack. All right, next up, Blue Archeum Shop opens. But once again, this one is not happening on 9/28. You see, there's no applied on 9/28. The Blue Archeum Shop, through the dedicated store UI, a list of 6 among the various products purchases with Blue Archeum is displayed at random. Very confusing wording. This translation is really bad. What this means is that they're going to have a shop, and so you're going to open it up, and it's going to have 6 items in there for sale. They're going to be 6 random items based on tens of hundreds of items, probably. We don't know how many items. We don't know what they're going to sell yet, but the guess is there's going to be pretty much probably every single item in the game, most likely, or very, very close to every single item in the game. Not full weapons and armors would be my guess, but there's going to probably be shotguns from basic to yellow. There's probably going to be cores from blue to yellow. There's probably going to be red Archeum. There's probably going to be blue Archeum. There's probably going to be ship blueprints. There's probably going to be sand. There's probably going to be hereafter stones. There's probably going to be lots of random items. Probably going to be potions and buffs, things like that. You know, everything you could imagine will probably be for sale. And it's all going to be purchased with Blue Archeum. So every day this shop is going to have 6 items. Next up, it says the product list can be updated by consuming Blue Archeum, and the maximum number of updates is limited. The product list is open until midnight on the same day and is automatically updated after midnight. So what that means is that you're going to have a shop, 6 items. And if you don't like the 6 items, you can either wait until midnight and the shop will reset, or you can go and pay some Blue Archeum and you can reset the shop yourself and change those 6 items. You can change the 6 items a certain amount of time. That's what they mean by limited. So it means just like the quest that you have in your Arc Pass, where you can, I don't like that quest. That quest is bad. I don't like that one. That's hard. I'm going to re-roll it. You can re-roll the shop as well. And so when you re-roll the shop, from what I'm understanding of this, you're going to re-roll all 6 of those items. So you'll get a brand new set of 6 items. Obviously, I don't know 100% certain on this, but that is what I read from this right here. It could also be maybe you re-roll just one of the items, right? We have to see how this plays out, but it's going to be something very similar to that. You're going to be able to re-roll items or wait until midnight and the shop is going to change and there's going to be 6 new items. Potentially could be the same old item. Potentially could be a different price. We don't fully know the details on this, but it will, be there soon, sometime in October. Again, because it does not have that applied on 9/28. All right, others. So this one, 9/28. The number of purchases at the Hearthstone at Gold Shop is limited, and the Archeum consumption for existing crafting recipe is increased. Terrible, terrible, terrible translation, right? So what this means, what this is trying to say, is the hereafter stone, the teleporting stone that you use to teleport from house to house to house, to continent, to different island, to different places, is going to now become a limited sale item at the shop. So my recommendation for anyone watching this video, go load up and buy a lot of hereafter stones right now before the update. Before 9/28, buy a lot of hereafter stones, because after 9/28, you're not going to be able to buy unlimited hereafter stones. You're going to be able to buy 10 or 15 or 20 or 5. We don't know how many, but you're going to be only able to buy a limited amount of hereafter stones. That's what this update means. And then on top of that, not only are they limiting the amount that you can make, but they are also increasing the cost to craft the hereafter stones. So Archeum will be spent on the hereafter stones. I believe currently it costs 50 Archeum to craft. The cost is going to go up, so maybe it's 100 or maybe it's 200, but the cost will be going up. So they're using another way to burn Archeum. If you need hereafter stones, you're now going to have to be crafting them for the most part, and or buying them from someone else that has crafted them. So it's going to get more expensive to teleport. Buy your hereafter stones now. If you have, any inkling of playing the game, buy hereafter stones now. Buy them while you can. That's my my suggestion on that one. All right, next up, the amount of debris that can be attained through Lumia dispatches is reduced. This one doesn't have an update on it applied 9/28, but I'm assuming that's going to happen 9/28. It doesn't say it, but it's a very basic thing. They're going to cut down your gold, right? If it doesn't happen on 9/28, it's going to happen in the future. We go down here. Added a healing potion craft that consumes blue Archeum. It has greatly increased healing amount along with a cooldown time. So again, this one doesn't say 9/28. And down below it, the next one actually says applied on 9/28. So I'm guessing that this one is not in also. This is going to be a brand new potion, or maybe an upgraded potion that is going to be better. It's going to be a better potion. This is a great item, a consumable that will heal you for more, and we don't know what the cooldown is. It could have a long cooldown, it could have a short cooldown. It doesn't give us any more information on this. But yes, we're going to have a new potion, or hopefully more than just one. Hopefully we have more potions. Next up, the number of vocation tome rewards awarded through the production activity rank has been reduced. And this is applied on 9/28. This means the rewards that you get for ranking in the top 100 on the farming leaderboards. So when you're harvesting trees and you're planting crops and you're harvesting, pigs and things like that, you get points, you get vocation points, and you go onto a leaderboard now. They're reducing the rewards because the rewards there were insane. You were getting a ton of these vocation tomes, and that made the vocation tomes have no value whatsoever. They're like 0.2 or 0.02, like very, very cheap stuff. So this means less supply is going to be coming into the world. All right, next up. Skyfin battle victory conditions are changed to a point system. Basically, the kill count accumulates to your score, and you also earn points by killing monsters. So this is a big change. Like, they're changing how you play Skyfin, the PvP arena. This one, we don't know. I guess they're adding monsters now, because before, I don't believe there was any monsters in the Skyfin arena. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But that is, again, not happening on 9/28. That is going to be sometime in October. So that's all the updates here. They do leave us with some final words. The Archeworld team promises to be alert to the affections, criticisms from users, and to continue to make the best possible efforts with sincerity. Thank you. So overall, a massive, massive update. Not, no new ocean monsters, which kind of sucks. But at least fishing will be coming sometime in October. So fishing will be coming in October. The blue salt shop, where you can get new items or unique items or cheaper items for blue Arceum is coming in October as well. I think that shop is going to be very, very valuable. And so really the change that we're seeing is Hereafter Stones are getting nerfed, and you cannot buy an unlimited amount of those anymore. And you're going to have to craft them most likely, or buy them from someone else. So that's going to burn more Arceum. And then you're going to see dungeons are getting a big buff. But it's also going to cost more. So is the buff worth it? We don't know. They are also making the regrade, Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Point, better. Will this affect the entire economy? I definitely think so. I definitely think Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Points are going to go increased in value because it's costing more to enter the dungeon. So right now, if it costs 1,000 into the dungeon, 1,000 Arceum, but after post-update, it costs 3,000 into the dungeon, it doesn't say anything about giving you more Sun Point or giving you more Star Point, right? It says nothing about that. It says you're going to get more Arceum shards, but the Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Point are going to stay the same, according to the patch notes that we got, which means it's going to cost you more and more to get those Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Point. And on top of that, they also made the Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Point better, because now people might want to actually go to +9 because they get combat level. So I think Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Point are going to see a very, very big increase depending on how much the cost of the dungeons increase. So if the cost of the dungeon goes from 1,000 Arceum to 3,000 Arceum, the cost of the Sun Points probably will triple, right? If the cost goes from 1,000 Arceum to 10,000 Arceum, the cost of the Sun Points will probably like 10x. So I think there's going to be a big increase in these Sun Point, Moon Point, Star Points. That's just my guess. That's my speculation. I did personally purchase a lot more of the processing machines for Arceum. So I bought some blue Arceum processing machines. I bought a blue bed. I bought some green Arceum machines because I do think that red Arceum price will actually go up as well. So those are my thoughts. That's what I think is going on here. Got any questions or comments about the news update? Let me know in the comment section. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.